welcome to this workshop. Today we'll be going over CAD. CAD is computer aided design. We went over and to learn. So the software you use is called Onshape. It's a web app, so it's a website. So you don't have to download anything. You can just run it off of Google. You can run it on your MacBooks. You don't need special equipment. So I guess we should start by creating Onshape accounts. So everybody, if you have a computer, go on to onshape.com. If you don't have a computer, just look at your friends, partner up, and everything. Yeah. Take a second to get to onshape.com. Yeah. Alright, so when you get on Onshape, you'll want to go to the top right, click create student account. That's how we create. So next you'll be greeted with like this whole account setup. You can fill out much of this you can fill out yourself. You want to say student. I'll just do a dummy account. Yeah, I do. I got it. Create EDU account. Thank you for your submissions. Alright, then after you fill out the basic information,
Do we do all our designs in Onshape?
yeah, we do practically all of our designs are on Onshape. The whole robot is modeled and fit together before production in Onshape. There is another application called SolidWorks. We do get licensed for them, so if you want to try it out, you can.
Those are in the Google Drive folder as a doc. Just make sure to sign out, just sign out one of the keys, because we get 30 total, I think. So we just need to keep track of how many we give out. And then for whoever's going to be CNCing in the future, we are going to use a little bit of Fusion 360, but it's really not much. You can just convert a step file into Fusion from Onshape.
So the primary designs are here.
Did everyone get past the putting up your email and all that?
Yeah, raise your hand if you're all set. You got to this part. Sorry.
You guys good? Good, alright.
Good.
Speak a little louder.
Alright, raise your hand if you're at this step. Okay. Everybody good? Yeah.
Which one is not at this step?
Anyone?
Anyone not at this step?
Alright, I can use that.
Alright, I guess. Alright, we can start moving on. So next, you gotta type in school name. So you type in Wayland High School. And then school website, URL. You just search up Wayland High School. And copy paste the URL. City is Wayland. State, MA.
You can just search up the high school website and then copy paste the link.
Yeah. Oh, graduation year, yours is different. I guess we'll have mine be freshman.
You can just leave it inch degrees.
Yeah, inches degrees, yeah, that's the right. So then when you click what you're using Onshape for, you can say school robotics team / FRCT.
Alright, once you have that all filled out, you just click the create account button at the bottom and it should bring you to the main page of Onshape. if you want, you can, bookmark it. I find it easier that way, cause if you just search up Onshape, it's just gonna bring you to that opening website again.
Yeah.
If you bookmark
You have to
it,
type in,
the documents.
you have to type in your email. You might have to activate your email, if it asks you. Just go to your emails now. And check. The whole page. So here you can look at your previous, projects. It's much like Google Drive. You have shared with me, and different folders
Yeah.
for different things. So we often share files with each other, so we'll often look there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a document, so click create, and scroll down to document. And then you can name your document anything. Okay, we'll do, first day, or first, yeah, we'll just name it first. Create. Take a second to load. Alright, so now that you created your document,
So does everyone have a document created? Are they in like this plane with the photos?
everybody can see this image on their computer when they're on shape. Something like this.
You need a mouse?
Oh yeah. I guess yeah, I would say that a mouse is very helpful for using Onshape, but it's not by any means required.
Not required, yeah.
I don't use a mouse. I can get around.
You guys are good? You have everything?
Everybody good?
Okay, moving on.
Alright, moving on. So now we're in the Onshape CAD software base. So you'll be greeted with many different sections. So over here is your UI, where your 3D modeling area. This is where you'll see your model. Yeah. So this is where you can view your model and move and change angles. So in order to navigate this area, you use 2-finger click if you're on a mouse pad, or right click to pan around and look at different angles. So that's how you move. You double click and then you can turn your angle of view.
F is the hotkey to return to original point, and then control and then 2-finger clicking is like shifting left and right.
Yeah, control double click is how you like move without a panning. It's a XY
Everybody got that?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. You have to double click and then you have to move, and then if you want to shift your view on shape, up here you got all your functions and tools. So you can see you can do extrude, revolve, all this stuff. These are all to change the shape of your whatever your model you're making. So extrude, say you have a 2D structure, you can extrude it and make it 3D. So over here, you have your side tree. It basically organizes all your functions. So whenever you do something like create a sketch, do an extrude, whatnot, it'll appear on the side. And this is helpful because you can go back and edit it. So, very cool. So you're probably wondering, like, what are these like blue planes over here, blue like squares? Those represent the different planes. There's a front, right, top. So what I want you to do is you can click on one of them, say the front. You can also click here, and you right click or double click and create new sketch. You can also click here.
You can also click sketch.
You can click sketch and then click whatever plane you want.
You click sketch and then you can
In the top left, there's a sketch.
over here. You can click sketch, and then you can click whichever plane you want it. So put it on the front plane. Another, if you click space. So over here you'll have a cube. So if you want to easily lock yourself on one space, you can click on that and it'll give you directly with whatever face. If you can use this whole cube thing to move around too. If you find the other way difficult, I often use this.
You can also use arrow keys too to move the camera around. If you
Yeah,
have
there's
to
lots of
highlight.
ways. Okay. So everybody made a sketch, good, thumbs up? No? Okay.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Oh, is that just the sketch?
yeah, that's
Yeah, it's just a sketch. It's
just like creating faces.
You'll see it change up here. You'll know you're in a sketch because you'll see all this stuff up on the top toolbar change. Alright, so
Hold on, click out of the sketch and then back into it if someone.
yeah.
Alright, so if you click out of the sketch, if it looks like, oh wait. Or no, hold on, have like the sketch present, just like going back into a sketch later.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Run.
So if you click the check or just like click off of it accidentally, you can go into that left bar and then click the sketch one. You can double click it to edit it again, or two finger click and then click the edit in the sub menu. On this side, you can just double click this.
Everybody got that? That make, whatever he said make sense? I can't repeat that, so, does it make sense? Okay, moving on.
Alright, so next, let's start drawing stuff. So up here are your drawing tools. So you got line, so you can create lines. So you click 2 points and then you can make a line. Over here is your rectangle tool. So you click 2 points and they form a rectangle. The 2 points act as the diagonal. Over here, you can also change this. So nothing's in place. So you can grab a point, you can drag all that. Here you see this number, so it doesn't do that because I've locked it to a certain measurement. So it behaves differently. We'll get into that. Alright, so there's also a circle tool. So you click, that's the center of your circle, and then you can drag it out however far. Click, and then boom, you got yourself a circle. And again, you can move it. Click the center and move. One thing about Onshape is that, like, see, even though I click the second point, I'm still in the line tool, so that might get annoying. So you can just click escape, or you can click on, or if I'm still in a line, I can just click back on the line to quit out of it. So yeah, that's how you make basic shapes. So
Alright, is everyone good with drawing just random stuff?
yeah, just draw a bunch of take a second, just draw a bunch of random stuff. Like circles, you can make whatever. You can use this thing. It's like an arc. Just click around and mess around with it. Moving on. So now we might have a jumble of mess or whatever, but if you look, all the lines are blue. I guess if you also look, so you can see a closed shape is defined by the shading inside. So if your sketch is shaded inside, that means all the sides are closed. This is important because sometimes you might be working on something, and say you might be trying to do something, but all your sketch isn't completely sealed. So whatever you're doing, like say if you want to do an extrude, you can't do it with an open sketch or an open shape, so it won't work. So make sure all your whatever you're doing, you have the shaded inside. If you don't, we'll go over how to make sure that it's shaded in. But yeah, that's common error. So what you can do is you can click and drag, and that'll box select, and you can click delete, and you just do that. Or you can alternatively, you can just X out the sketch, and then it'll be say sketch 1 has been canceled. So instead of clicking the check, you click X, it'll just delete the sketch. Yeah, and then I can go in and then click edit. So, and then one thing to note when I did that is that it deleted everything I created that time when I opened the sketch. Earlier, I don't know if you noticed, I made a box that's back. Even though I deleted it, it went back to like its previous state. So even though, it could be empty, it could have some stuff. So when you click X, it'll just go back to what it was before you started editing. All right, so let's get into measurements and dimensioning. So let's create a line. Let's create a simple line. So let's click on the origin and then drag out a line on the
Make it like
horizontal.
at an angle, so
Make it at an angle.
like just kind of make it like how it is.
Yeah, okay. Just click again and make a line, and then click escape or whatever to get out of the line tool. So we have this line. It's not defined. It's blue. Blue means it's undefined. So one way to define it is to give it a length. We do that with the dimension tool. So it's on the top right dimension. Click there. So now you're using the dimension tool. And what you can do is you can click on the line and you'll get this pop-up that shows a measurement. So this is the current measurement of the line. And what you do is click again, and then you can specify your own measurement. So say I want this to be 2 inches. So I click 2 and I click enter. And now the line is 2 inches. That's how you measure stuff. And you can also change this measurement. You can move this by double clicking again. Say if I want 4, I can click 4. If I want 4.5, I can click 4.5. Say if I want some weird fraction, I can do 3/16 if I want that long. It'll automatically do the math. So yeah, it's like a calculator.
You can do like addition and multiplication too. If you
Yeah.
want. You can do like 1 plus 3/16 or like 2 times 1.7 or
So
something.
you're just using brackets when you put in. I did 1 plus 4/5, and that's 1.8. Yeah. So you can also do addition, subtraction. Like you can do 2 times 7. That'll make 14.
Is everyone alright with dimensioning? With the dimension tool with lines? Good. Anyone need help with it?
So you'll notice this line is still blue, even though we gave it a length. That's because it's still not fully defined. So it's 14 inches, but it's 14 inches just out in the middle of space. We don't really have a way of defining it. So one thing we do know though is that one of the points is on the origin. So what we can do, and how I'd like to define it, is by creating another line. And this time, I want to make it along the horizontal. So what I'll do is, if you get this, if you get this dotted, see how it's dotted and there's a dash next to it? That's how you know you're on your line's horizontal to the origin of the plane. So then I can click escape. And that's how you make a perfectly horizontal line, if you get that pop up. You can also, relate it elsewhere, but that's how you make. This also works for vertical. You can do that. That's how you lock in the vertical axis. But yeah. So
With the dimension tool, you can also make angles relative to other lines. So if you click a horizontal line and just a line out in space, you can set an angle you want it to be at.
yeah, exactly. So I wanted that to be 45. So what I did is I went to the dimension tool, I clicked on one line, I clicked on the other line I want to set the angle to, and I set the angle to 45, so I wanted to 60. And you can set this angle to whatever you want. This can go like reflex, 270, you set it whatever. Click, you can do 2 times 3, 6 degrees, always change it.
Does that mean it's defined now? It's different colors.
What?
Does that mean it's defined? It's no longer blue?
Yeah, it's no
Okay.
longer blue. So if it's black, that means it's fully defined. So yeah, you define the sketch. So I guess we can delete that. Or you can keep it. I'm just gonna delete it. So next we're gonna go over a rectangle. So similar to a line, it's just a rectangle is basically 4 lines. Well, I'm in center actually. I want to do corner. So I can use this caret to change what type of rectangle I want to make. So I'll click and make a rectangle. Alright.
Before anything, the easiest way to define things from the start is just to base your first lines or rectangles off of the origin, because then it can't, once it's on it, it can't move off of it, so it's just harder to get it undefined.
Yeah, like see here, I can move this, but if I put it here, like start on the origin, it's more defined, so yeah, see those are locked, those are black, so they're defined. They're defined in location, in space. So again, I can just click and drag. Alright, so then again, we can dimension this, so each side can give its own dimension. Say I want 3 here, and 7 here. I get that. Click F. Oh, I click 67. Whoops. And again, if you're zoomed in or too zoomed in or too zoomed out, just click F, or click on what you want to see and then like click F. So if I click the origin, I click F. Alright, it'll zoom out. It'll just If I go away, if I look away, I click F, and it'll zoom in, and I just have to go back to Alright, so now that we got those out of the way, I guess, do we want to go over circles? Yeah, circles are.
Yeah, we can do circles.
So again, circles, very similar to lines and rectangles. Again, you wanna define it on the origin for ease of use. Otherwise, if you don't define it on the origin, again, you can define a line. So say I want to switch. I can make a line to the object. I can define its angle from the angle. You don't need to do this part, but I can define angle. 50.
Do dimensioning circles, whatnot.
What?
Dimensioning circles.
Yeah.
Maybe a radius.
Yeah. Oops. Alright, so I guess we'll go with the circles. So you make a circle, and
With circles, you use the same dimensioning tool with lines and angles. You just click anywhere on the border of the circle, just not the middle point. It'll give you an option to give it a diameter.
yeah, so this is the diameter. That's the length across the circle, the farthest point. So I want this 20. You set the 20, and then I can drag this to the origin, and it'll set. It'll define itself. Alright, that's how you work with circles.
Everyone good with circles? Giving it dimension.
Any questions? Again, all the rules apply. You can do multiplication. You'll often make tiny circles, right? Yeah. You'll often make tiny circles in robotics for like holes for screws and stuff. Alright. We're all good. Oh, I thought it had that thing.
You want to do construction lines?
Yeah, I was figuring out a way how to do that one. I guess it just comes with T-plate, like you'll just have to do it.
Alright.
Do you wanna go over it? Is there-
Yeah, let's go over it.
We'll do mirror with it too.
Here? Yeah, sure, why not?
Okay. Alright, so the next cool tool we can do with Onshape is construction lines. So it's like a line. So you can click line up here, and then what you can do is you can click over here where it says construction, and I'll activate construction lines. So as opposed to a regular line, construction lines don't need to be specified by any length. They only serve to benefit your drawing, or they act as like guidelines for your sketch in different relations. So
Construction lines are a good way to just define other things that are otherwise undefined. Like if you can't pin anything to the origin, you can just use a construction line to make it at like a certain angle or like a distance or something like that.
yeah, and it's like specifically if you don't want that like unnecessary line in your stuff, in your model, or in your sketch, sorry. So we'll make a construction line, so we'll start at the origin. So usually, in most drawings, you'll usually make like 2 construction lines over here. So one on the X, one on the Y, right? Those are really helpful because then you can relate a lot of things to these points. So let's say I wanted to create a rectangle on this side. Or actually, let's make a circle. Construction lines is up here, over by Dutch Village, in this view.
Everyone good with getting the construction lines and whatnot?
Yeah, getting construction lines on. You can turn anything into a construction. So say I want to turn this circle into a construction circle. I click on it, then I click this. It turns into a construction circle. So you can turn parts of your sketch into construction lines and whatnot if they need to be. Whoops.
So what it'll do is when you go to extrude something, it won't actually take it on the construction line. So it's just
Alright, so next what we can do is we can use this cool feature called mirror. So click over here where it says mirror. It's next to, it's near dimension. Over here, the 2 L's, L and then the backwards L. So click over here where it says mirror, and it'll prompt us to select a mirror line. So our construction lines, we can use them as a mirror line. So say I want to reflect over the y-axis, I click this vertical line, and I can select what I want to be mirrored. So I want this big circle to get mirrored, and boom, I click it, and wow. It appears on the other side. Wow. That's crazy.
when you're doing the mirror, you have to make sure whatever line you're mirroring it over is directly in the middle of whatever it is, because it'll do it exactly equidistant to whatever line you select first.
You want to make sure, yeah, the line you're mirroring is in the middle of where you want to be mirrored, right? Yeah. You don't want it, if it's slightly off, everything will be slightly off. So yeah, you mirror that, and then so I can say the length I want it to be from the center. So say I want it to be 2 inches from the center. It'll make the origin 2 inches from the center. Oh, and I'll just define these as 2. And then using this bottom line, I can define it from the bottom. Say I want it to be 1 inch from there. Then boom, it's fully defined. So I defined it. Whoops. I defined it from the. This is like the X, and this is like the Y. Think about it. It's like a plane. X and Y, and then we built the circle at that point.
And we're good for extruding that?
Yeah, we're good for extruding. Okay, so extruding is the next step. So you have this sketch and everything, but you'll realize, all right, when you draw on a paper, what is that? You're making something that's in which dimension? Two dimension, yeah. But as you notice, like our models are in 3D. So we use the extrude function to make our models 3D. So we click extrude up there. Sorry, when it clicks extrude, you got let's say, I don't know, develop demo. You can do whatever you want, but let's say I want to do 5 inches. I click check, and I got my first 3D image, 3D part. So, yeah. So, now, congrats. Give yourself a clap. You made your
Good job, guys.
part. Pretty complicated. Alright, alright. So now we're gonna make a new part. So in the same document, what you can do, if you ever use like Google Sheets or something like that, over down here there's multiple tabs. You click insert new tab and create a new part studio. So the bottom left, click create new part studio. Click that and then it'll be loaded into a new part.
Alright, now, first, the CAD design challenge. You're gonna make a T-plate, which is a plate that looks like a T. Wow, it's horrible. Okay, so the dimensions, total height,
We should have them with the whole part.
3 inches. That's kind of fine. This is,
Here, you want me to draw?
no, I got it. Oh wait, we never showed these.
Oh, I did never.
Alright, and then.
I'd assume.
Alright, let me get rid of the background.
You can make a circle. Hole is a circle, right?
Yeah, but like you hollow.
Yeah, I get it. Did you guys gone over how to hollow out a hole?
Yeah.
They didn't sketch it, it's just in the, oh yeah, if you,
Hollow out a hole. That's. I feel like they can just.
yeah, it's kinda.
That's a challenge to figure out.
Alright, that's a challenge, I guess.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad.
Okay.
It'll quantity.
Thickness is 0.5. Is that what it is? Is that big?
No, this is, distance from the center of the circle to the edge, or all the distance between all, or no, yeah. So distance from the edge to the middle of the circle is 0.5, and then the distance in between all the circles is 1 inch.
That's center to center,
Center
okay?
to center, yeah, everything is center to center for
And the
circles.
width is 3 inches?
The
Yeah.
width, this, like,
This width is 3 inches. You're correct.
yeah.
How long do they have?
The
6 minutes.
however long it takes.
Now we'll do, start off with like 10 minutes.
What's the diameter?
10 minutes?
It's not,
I don't
that's
know.
not enough. Oh,
That's not enough.
What's the diameter?
10 minutes.
No, I say 30.
30 minutes?
30 minutes.
No.
Because it's heat plate, it's fine.
6 hours.
Alright, so click insert new tab. Alright, you don't need to do this. I'm just making a new part studio. Okay, whoops. Alright, let's make it unlock.
Do beams, a beam.
We're doing spacers now. They're revolved.
What about beam with like linear pattern with holes and whatnot?
Okay, sure.
And then we can do messed up driveway, yeah.
Okay, sure. How about that? Okay, that sounds like a plan. Alright.
Yeah,
Wait.
it's just,
Alright.
this is weird. This is always off.
Where's my sketch?
The weight would be
The name. Oh, yeah. So, right now I'm just gonna make a beam. So I'm gonna dimension it. This is like supposed to replicate the aluminum beams we use. So they're 2 by 1
it
by
looks good, but
whatever length. So I'm gonna make this one. This
I just read it.
two.
Yeah.
Do 1/8.
say what you're doing?
Yeah, I'm just, yeah. Alright,
Anyone want to try to pick out something funny?
Wait, what do you mean by funny?
Very
No.
hilarious. I think actually you have to make it last.
Whoa,
but
are we done?
Oh, you mean bringing 2 spears?
Oh, we already did that. We already did that. Oh, you're already did that. You're on flow already.
Just that we're just making
no, we're not, so,
Wait, hold on.
right now I'm creating a beam,
Okay. Okay. Alright, let's take you.
no Jonathan, you don't, so,
Let's see. So since
Right
you have
here.
one that's all good, like delete this circle.
we'll just do it.
Since you have one that's all good, you can just copy it. So you wanna click on this thing?
Yeah, just wait, give me a sec, alright?
Yeah, and then click on the circle. Nice.
So what I just
Oh, you
did,
also wanna dimension
semi-quickly in front of you as I created a beam,
Oh,
it's
no.
supposed to be a metal tube, you don't need to do this, well, you can do this, we'll ask you to in a sec, but I wanna go over another cool thing about Onshape, so, I have this like 3D part, right, everybody?
Yeah.
I have this cool 3D part, it's a beam, you know, whatnot, you can do a lot of cool things with it. But one thing you can do on Onshape is you can click on a face, and then you can double click, and create new sketch, and wow, what did I just do? I created a new sketch on a plane. So as opposed to like one of the like 4 main planes, the front, right, or left plane, or sorry, bottom plane. This plane is aligned with the face of the object I'm on. So it's aligned with this long side of the beam here. I don't know if you can see it right there. Yeah. So now I can align myself here. I can start making a sketch. Alright, so I'm gonna walk through linear patterns.
Can you just press escape?
So, alright, so earlier we were making holes, right?
Just click on this. And now you, it's.
So I have a hole,
Change this
or I have a circle. First I make a circle, then I dimension it.
And then there should be another one.
And then, you know, I also want to dimension it from the top. So I want 1 inch from the top and then 1 inch from here. So, everybody here, y'all made the T-plates, right? And you all made multiple holes, you have to dimension them all. It was pretty tedious, you have to click dimension, you have to type in the numbers multiple times. So, I'm gonna show you a tool that can quicken all that. So right here, if you go up here, you can see this thing called linear pattern. Click on that. And then you can click on the objects you want to apply it to, and boom. What do I got here? I got two XYs filled with holes. I basically got an array of circles. So alright, so instead of redrawing every single circle, I can use this tool to have the computer generate them for me. So that's what I'm going to use it to do. So over here, you can specify the number of holes you want to make. So say I want 6. Then over here, using this tool, I can specify the width between each hole. So say I want 2 inches. It'll make holes, it'll make 6. Why is it off center?
tissues.
Let me adjust that. Okay, yeah. So I can adjust how many holes, how many circles I want to make. And I can change this number. It can also go in the vertical direction. So now I need to make holes this way. For this demo, we'll just use horizontal. So I'll set that to 0. Set that to 1. Alright. So I want the holes to go that way. So what I do is I click -2 and I'll flip the direction. Alright. So look what I got right here. I got, instead of manually creating all these holes and, you know, dimensioning between each of them, I did it using the linear pattern tool. I did it all in one swoop. So then you can click check, and boom, got it there. It's not defined because it's not defined because this part right here is this right here. This relation. It's not anchored. With a hole in it, so that's a hole. So when you're modeling a spacer, you might just think, oh, make a circle and then extrude it. Well, it's actually don't want to do that. Because sometimes you might want a different type of spacer. Maybe you want it drafted inwards, so that it's a little bit more conical here. Sometimes you want, say if I have like a pulley here, I want less friction from the spacer affecting the pulley. So I make it conical and have less area affecting the pulley. So instead of making a circle and extruding, what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a side profile for the spacer, and then we're gonna use the revolve tool to complete the cylinder. You can somewhat imagine that. We'll go over it on chip right now. All right.
So this is some high level stuff right here.
Yeah, spacer making is crucial. So okay, I'm in my sketch. I'm gonna make a construction line at the vertical. All right, next I'm just gonna ideate out the general shape of my spacer. So I want to go in here, and then I want to go draft in here, go like that. So there, I just quickly made a spacer. Now I can quickly dimension this, that, this is that, this, I put 0.3, this is 0.5.
Does that look good to you?
Alright. And then, okay, so you got the basic idea. Yeah, those are just lines, so I quickly put in lines. Kind of hard to see. Alright. So, if you can imagine, this is like the side profile of the spacer. Alright, so I just noticed that. Alright, so it follows this shape. It has this weird shape. It goes this way out, and then it goes up, in, out, and then it drafts in. So what I want to do is I want to revolve that. But first, if you notice, there's no shaded area. So if I do anything, it won't work. So, and that's because I made this a construction line. So I'm gonna unconvert it from a construction line, and boom, I got myself empty space. So now I can click. So now I can click up here, use revolve, and I need to specify the revolve axis. So that's gonna be this right here, and boom, revolve, and now I have my spacer right there. So I click check, and wow, I made a spacer. And then on top, you can create a new sketch here, and make your hole, for it, stuff like that. So yeah, it's kind of an odd looking spacer. Yeah. Okay. But
Alright.
it's useful because the less surface area makes it so that